everybody, how are you? I hope you are doing great. I also hope that you are really excited about today's subject. We're gonna talk about impactful business in Latin America. First, let me introduce myself quickly. I'm Iluska, I'm Brazilian, and I've been working at Edge as Latin America coordinator since 2011. So, today our conversation will be about Latin America's economic scenario. We will talk mostly about how low-income population lives in this region, which is the base of the economic pyramid, or as we call the BOP. During our conversation, we will share some of the problems the population faces and also an innovative business model that can solve them. Despite of talking about the concept, we will get to know a good case practice in the region and its entrepreneur. And finally, we will discuss about how and why should we, young talented people, join the field, and we will tell you about the opportunities you have available with Edge. According to the International Finance Corporation, 70% of Latin America population lives at the base of the pyramid. That means around 384 million people. And when we are talking about these people's lives, we are also talking about many issues and problems they face every day, such as housing, healthcare, and education problems. Let's take three countries as samples of Latin America: Brazil, Colombia, and Mexico. Could you imagine 14 million people without stable residential status? That means the houses they live are not their own, or not even legally rented by them. And what about Brazil, that in 2009 had more than 6 million illiterate people? Still talking about education in Brazil, you can notice that low-income kids go to school until they complete 14, maybe 15 years old tops. This means that those kids don't even finish elementary school, while high-income kids, in average, reach university. If we take a look on Mexico low-income kids, it's a similar reality, as they need to support their families financially. They drop out of school and start work. In rural areas, the percentage of those kids can reach almost 20%. Continuing the conversation about Mexico, let's check out the healthcare sector. Well, if you know someone with diabetes, you know this disease doesn't come alone. If patients with diabetes don't control the level of blood glucose, they can develop many other health issues, such as circulatory and sight problems. Helping control this disease isn't easy or cheap, requires many specialists, such as nutritionists, endocrinologists, ophthalmologists, among others. So the patients basically have two options. They can try to afford expensive treatment, or they can use a public healthcare system. As you can imagine, for low-income people, the second option is the only one indeed. Saying that 40% of low-income population households in rural areas in Colombia have no access to a minimum quality of sanitation facilities is the same as saying that more than 6 million people don't have access to these basic services. Just to have an idea of how many people this applies to, 6 million people is almost 3 times the population of Paris, or 2 times the population of Berlin. Another important thing about this logic is the ecosystem concept. Nobody will change the life of 4 billion people working alone. Networks, partnerships, and different roles are crucial for this field, especially because the logic in this business is the opposite of traditional businesses. For a traditional company, as much as you buy their product, better for them. In this case, companies are always thinking about how can you consume their products more often. But if we look at impactful business, is the opposite. Their products exist because there is a big problem this product solves. Once nobody needs the product, means that the problem is gone. For example, an impactful business that solves the housing issue in Nicaragua sells affordable houses to low-income population. One day, they realize nobody wants their houses because everybody in the country has a decent house to live. In a traditional logic, a civil construction business will break. In impactful business field, the company will look for partners that can help them to solve the same issue in Costa Rica or Guatemala. That's exactly what the impactful business ecosystem is. People using their core knowledge and expertise, working as partners to solve huge global issues. So, in order to reach these common goals, it is necessary to get to know the main people engaged with the field and investing their money or knowledge in order to develop it. That's why we have many foundations as Potential Ventures and Avina, for example. And that's also why we have ANDI, Aspen Network of Development Entrepreneurs, to connect entrepreneurs with potential mentors or investors or incubators and so on. Following up on the topic of ecosystem, we also need incubators and accelerators to have more businesses and to improve those already exist. New Ventures Mexico and Artemisia's Aceleradora de Impacto in Brazil are good examples. To scale a business, money is an important tool. And we know that in this field you need to scale up in order to be sustainable, to gain in volume, and in order to solve the problem of billions of people. So impactful businesses need investors as Ignea Fund in Mexico or Fondo Inversor in Colombia that will expect not only interest as return of the investment, but also impact. Now that you have a general idea of the field and its players, let's meet one really nice impactful business.
I think that education is the most important asset that you have. It's really interesting because it's not only important for yourself, but it's also something that you give to your children and to the people in your community, something that you can give back to the community. My name is Felipe Vergara. I am the co-founder and CEO of Lumni, a company that finances students to go to college. What we recognize is that even if there are many student loans available, still most families struggle to pay the amount of money that they need to provide to complete for the gap that exists. So what we decided to do was to help some of those families and students to fulfill that gap with the system that we're developing.
Hi.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
How did the trip to New York go?
It went really well. We had a couple.
I'm originally from Colombia. I'm from Barranquilla. Came to the States to do an MBA. But one day I asked myself, okay, do I want to continue this career of being an executive, an international executive, which was very interesting. But at the same time I said I should probably try to work helping solve one way or another this problem of access to higher education and success in higher education. I started working in Lumni with a friend of mine who is a researcher. And in the beginning it was very difficult. It took us a lot of time to finance the first students, to make it work. But I think that when you persist and when you're really passionate about something, at some point things start to work out, and it's been really interesting what has happened in the last few years. Lumni has grown significantly. One of the things we need to address in the US is that Latinos are a minority that is widely underrepresented in higher education. I mean, the numbers have been growing, but still there is a big gap compared to the average number of students who go to college and who graduate from college in the US. So one of the goals that Lumni has for the US is to reach 10,000 students by 2015.
Our dream for the world and our dream for the next few years is to help create a revolution in the world.
We actually made this commitment at the Clinton Global Initiative last year. So we actually doubled the number of students in the last year, and we expect to reach 10,000 by the end of 2015.
What did you think? Did you like it? Do you have questions or curiosities about Lumni? Now that you already know a good case practice, let's meet someone of our age that decided to have his professional career in the field. Let's meet Fabricio.
Hello everyone, how are you? I'm Fabricio Vargas from New Ventures, Mexico. I'm living in Mexico since January 2012, and people from Edge asked me if I could do an interview about my experience here. So I'm gonna ask some questions and just to explain you what I'm doing in Mexico, why I came to Mexico, and all this. So first of all, I came to Mexico because I've worked in ISAC since 2007, and I was MC in Brazil. After MC, I really wanted to do my exchange experience. So I decided that would be very interesting to apply for a position of impact sector, of impact business. I saw this position in our platform in my ISAC, and then I was like I really wanted to come to Mexico and to know more about this sector, and I've got selected. So after that, I came to Mexico. I've just started working in New Ventures, and I was involved with the communication and public relations area. In this area, I've worked a lot. I've started, when I came, I've started with the second Latin American Impact Investing Forum, so I got some jobs for this forum, and after that I also produced EcoFest, where it's a kind of a festival where we promote the sustainability, like education and sustainability for everyone in Mexico. And then after that, I wanted to be here more than 6 months. I decided to be 1 year or more. Now actually I'm 1 year and 3 months here, because I wanted more challenge. I wanted to know more about the sector. So what I did is that after that, I've got involved with another event called the Green Beach, where I could talk a lot with many entrepreneurs all around Latin America. And I've selected them for this event. They came to Mexico and they did a speed pitch and for investors, and we could do this link. No, we could present the entrepreneurs for the investors. And after this, I had another opportunity to continue here. More involved with the agenda of the Latin American Impact Investing Forum. The Latin American Impact Investing Forum is one of the most well-known forums of impact investing in the world. So what excited me a lot working at the agenda of this forum and in New Ventures, it's the networking that this organization offered for me. I started knowing many people of impact investing. I've started knowing more about the sector and seeing a really nice and a really good opportunity to work in this field right now in Brazil, when I'm planning to go back in March. What from Edge, they also asked me if I could give like some tips now of this sector. I think that's a sector, it's a really new sector. It's really, we can compare a lot with the Isaac because it's always changing, and you really need to read a lot about this, really need to talk with many people, see different perspectives, see different points of view. So I think that's the most important thing, to be really involved with the sector. I'm so sorry about my English, but I'm using it just to talk in Spanish right now, so sometimes it's a little bit difficult to express myself. But if you have any doubt, or if you want to know more about my experience here in Mexico, if you want to know more about the Mexico market, or also the Brazilian market, Latin America, and what's going on in impact investing, you can get my contact. I'm on Facebook and the group of Facebook of Edge, and of course the team of Ed, they have my contact. So if you have like more interested to know more about this forum or about new ventures, we also have like a fund in new ventures, Adobe Capital, that we've started doing investments in many companies in Mexico. So if you also want to know about a little bit more about this fund, acceleration process in Mexico, or anything you need, just let me know. Thank you very much, and have a nice webinar.
Young people will be looking forward to create a world of their choice. So first they have to decide what kind of world they want. And they can sit down and write 1, 2, 3 features of the world they want to create. And must imagine what that kind of world would be, what will be the characteristics of that world. Once those are decided, that you form your mind, this is what I want, then you hang it up on your wall and work for it. That's as simple as that.
I hope you enjoyed Fabricio's story. We really wanted you to get to know his career choices and his experience in working in impact business in Latin America. This region is really special to us, not only because we started back in 2004 in Brazil, but also because we work with youth across the region in our GBA program. So let me pose you a quick question. So we have around 200 GBAs since we started back in 2004. Can you guess more or less how many come from Latin America so far? So the right number is 128 of our GBAs are from Latin America. So this for us is a great indicator of how much youth in Latin America, in this region, are believing and really pursuing a career in impact business. And this is why we really work very closely with this region, because not only from the business side, as you can see in this slide, is a couple of names that we work with in the region, so you can later on research them. So there's not only a great effort from the business side, but also from the youth to get to know and start building themselves in this field. So this is a great indicator and a great number that we're really excited about in Edge for the region, and we really believe and will continue to work and give more opportunities to people in this region of the world. And as such, we want to show you a couple of opportunities if you're interested to get started and find your way through impact business. So we want to show you a couple of upcoming opportunities with Edge this year still, in Latin America specifically. So we have plugged-in summits coming up this year. We have Brazil in May, Colombia around July, and Mexico around September. Please feel free to be in touch with our social media, where we will be making everything available in terms of information. So feel free to go there to find more information, or just get in touch with us. So Plugged-in Summits are 4-day events where we not only teach you about the industry and get to you some speakers so you can understand, and entrepreneurs, but also we take you to field visits to businesses. So you really experience the groundwork and understand the essence of what the businesses are trying to achieve. Then throughout the year, we have our GBA program. So these are intense work placements combined with a strong learning environment to prepare you for the lifestyle in terms of the work environment and the challenges that the businesses have. And we have them in Brazil, Colombia, and Mexico. More to come around May time, so stay tuned as well. And ongoing right now is our photo contest. This is a great opportunity if you're into photography to capture the essence of communities, low-income communities in your regions, and submit to us your photo. You can find more information in our Facebook page with all the details of submission and dates and so on. It will be running until 4th of April. And the purpose is that after the photos are submitted, they will go under a voting, and if a winner will become the fund manager for Milap in India. This is a virtual role, so in essence, they'll be managing an amount of money for businesses in India that help impact business. So this is a great and really fun experience, especially if you want to understand whether you would like to start building yourself in this field. So again, all our opportunities are always published in our social media. So just stay tuned there and you're definitely going to hear about them. In case you also want to build your education around impact business, we brought to you a couple of names that might help you get started. If you're in the UK or interested, there's the Said Business School at Oxford University that offers a master's degree. And this university itself has a department that can teach you about social entrepreneurship and will offer you an online certification as well, and this one is paid for. Then we have two options that are free, and they offer a couple of modules around social entrepreneurship and social economy. This is edX and Coursera. If you Google them, you will most likely find all the available courses they offer. So feel free to go research. It's a great way to get a bit more in-depth knowledge and understand the hot topics around this field. If you like researching as well, we are going to leave you here with our bibliography and a couple of links we recommend you to pick up on to expand your knowledge around Latin America's BOP and impact business. So we have a very extensive and in-depth source, which is the Inter-American Development Bank. Feel free to Google it. Also, World Bank gives great statistics. Next Billion also gives you not only information but opportunities available both in work or just events, etc. Feel free to go check it out. And then we have our own website, Edge Talents. We have Potencia Ventures and Artemisia. The three of them offer great sources about not only what is the base of the pyramid, but also showcase a couple of businesses that you might be interested in learning about, how they work, and what's our stand about them. So I think if you get started with these, it will already give you a lot of information and already some good reading if you want to get more in depth. So we have reached the end of the webinar today. Thank you so much for joining us. If you want to still stay in touch with us, we are giving you a couple of links here so you can do that. We have our website available to you, edgetalents.net. Then you can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, also under the name of Edge Talents. This webinar, also with the other ones that have happened about Asia and Africa, will be available on YouTube. So if you just Google it, you will find it there. Also, if you want to ask anything about what you heard today, you can reach us in info@edgetalents.net. So we hope to hear from you. Just stay in touch with us. Make sure you follow up on the opportunities we've given you today. And hopefully we can see you soon in our next round of webinars. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Goodbye.